and we're going to get this party started. I wish we could party in Barbados.
Sounds
I'd
good.
love to hear actually what happens in Barbados at Christmas traditionally. Is there something special that you do?
Well, we have a lot of something specials that we do. Obviously,
I know.
it always includes a lot of food. A lot of great Barbadian delicacies. But then over the years, you have different events as well that have come on stream. Carols by Candlelight and different things that really bring people together. And then it's an exciting time for us too because November is our Independence Month, so lots of celebrations there. Then it's Christmas, and it's the New Year. So November, December, January is always a vibe in Barbados. So between the events, between the different local eats and treats that are Barbadian, as we say, there's really lots to really enjoy.
Oh my gosh, Christina Ziegler in the chat said she was there last month and loved it. Okay, so I will just go and move in from November 1 till Jan 15th. I think that's going to be my plan for next year. I'm going to
That's a good
start
time.
saving my pennies and call a spoiled agent to get me booked. I'm so excited. This is going to be our last Barbados webinar of the year. Amazing time, everyone. It's Sabrina from Spoiled Agent. Thanks for coming. And Jason, my friend Jason Yearwood, is the Business Development Officer with the Barbados Tourist Board. How are you, Jason?
Hey, good afternoon, Sabrina, or good morning. Good afternoon to everyone on the call as well, or good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for joining in.
Wonderful. Well, Zamira says they'd love to learn more about Barbados. Well, you came to the right place. So quick housekeeping, and then we're going to get right into it. And this is going to be much more fun than what I have to say. Just the basics. Of course, this is being recorded. So if you're so excited that you're going to hang up and call your client to tell them about this amazing island, which that's what's going to happen, you can come back and watch the recording. Of course, that'll be live on the Barbados page and Spoiled Agent as of tomorrow. And don't worry, I'll share that link with you. Number two, please, pretty please, put your questions in the Q&A box. Jason is from Barbados. He has
Mhm.
sacrificed many hours experiencing the food, the delicacies, the vibe, the party, the celebrations, the beaches, you name it. So he knows. Please, please ask those questions, but put them in the Q&A. When we add them in the chat, they get buried and we can't find them. The chats end up as long as you see this beautiful beach in Barbados. So it's a long, long time to read through them. Please put them in the Q&A so we can answer those. So what's going to happen is we'll do our presentation. As I said, that's recorded. And at the end of the presentation, if you have to run, that's perfect, no problem. We know you want to get Booking Barbados. After that, we'll do the Q&A live. So if you're interested in hearing the Q&A, or if you just have a question, please enter it there. Now, if you're on Facebook and only on Facebook, please put your email address because we have an amazing prize today. Thank you. So generous. I think maybe in the spirit of Christmas. Jason, do you want to say what that is?
Yeah, so our phrase today would be a $200 Visa gift card.
$200 Visa gift card. That means I could use it for an airplane ticket to Barbados. I
Yeah,
love Visa gift cards. Wow, that's so generous. Thank you, Jason. On
a
behalf
pleasure.
of all our community, look at those beautiful reactions. So all you need to do to qualify is to stay until the Q&A. And I will let you take it away. Jason will announce that prize, next week, likely on Wednesday.
Good, excellent. Well, thank you so much, Sabrina, for having Barbados again. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. And as Sabrina said, it's the last presentation for Barbados for 2024. And I was strategic in the title, Don't Forget Ma, in case you were wondering how it's pronounced. And essentially that's a line that we Barbadians use when, we promise something by someone, and that's our way of reminding them. So for example, when I was a child, and my mom tell me, well, she's going to town and she's gonna bring back some food for me, as she's getting on the bus to head out. I'm like, don't forget, ma, like remember, bring back my favorite food, that kind of thing. So we wanted to use that same line to tell you, our valued travel agent community, to don't forget, ma, don't forget Barbados as you promote and you sell to your clients who are looking for those different venture getaway trips to the Caribbean. Don't forget us. We know that there's so many offerings available across the Caribbean. We know that the Caribbean region, to me, is the best region to travel in the world because there's so much things to see, so many different cultures, so many different experiences. So we know that it could be a hard choice. But whether you're traveling for this winter or in the future, please don't forget about Barbados. We provide a fantastic travel experience, and we know that once you come, whether it's once or you come every single year, you will have a grand time on the island. So today's presentation, we're just gonna go over a few of the key points about us, who we are, where we're located, our claim to fame as a tourism destination. So if you've joined us before, this would be a great refresher for you. If it's your first time, it's no better time to be connected to this call than today as we speak about my lovely island, Barbados. All right, so we're going to get the ball rolling, and we're going to look at Barbados in relation to our location and our location in relation to our Caribbean neighbors. So I always show a Caribbean map whenever I'm doing a presentation, whether it's a virtual webinar or in person. And that's because the Caribbean is a vast region. And I remember before coming to the USA, I was stationed in Toronto, and I was at an event, and a gentleman came by and he's like, I've been to here, 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 and here. And he pointed on this map. I had some physical copies with me, and everywhere he pointed was the Spanish Caribbean. So I said, well, what about over here? And I pointed to, we could see where my cursor is. I pointed over here. And he's like, whoa, is over there Caribbean too? So I said, it sure is. That's the English speaking Caribbean. So I always like to show a Caribbean map. Sometimes people get us mixed up with Bermuda and Bahamas and Bonaire. Many Caribbean islands have B's. Their names begin with B. So, I always show a map that persons can see exactly who we are and where we are. So we are Barbados, right here where my mouse is. We're the most easterly located island in the Caribbean region. And we sit outside of the Caribbean arc of islands. Now that's important to note because it touches on some differences for us in terms of our landform as well. These islands here are in what we call the volcanic arc of islands. So our neighbors like Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Montserrat, etc., they all have volcanoes, very mountainous, but Barbados, we are coral limestone. All right, so we are not part of the volcanic arc of islands. We are coral limestone, and we sit to the far right-hand side of the Caribbean region. So we're the most easterly island in the Caribbean region. All right. So a little bit about everyone's favorite island. We are just off the island chain, as I mentioned to you before. We are 166 square miles in size, 21 miles long and 14 miles wide. We are divided into 11 parishes. So you see the different names there. All of our parishes are washed by the water except two, and those will be St. Thomas and St. George. Our capital city is Bridgetown, denoted right here by the red square. And we have 4 towns in total. So we also have Whole Town, Town, and Oistins. And what I really appreciate about my island is that even though we have 4 towns, they touch on different coasts of the island, if you will. So Town is in the northwest. Whole Town is on the west coast. Bridgetown is central, and Oistins is in the south. And whether you're in Oistins or you're in Whole Town, it's going to be a different vibe, but still places that you'd want to visit. And they each have their own character. And we will speak about that a bit later on. Our airport is the Barbados Granny Adams International Airport, located right here in Christchurch in the south. So this is where all of the flights coming into Barbados come to. Our population is about 270,000 to 300,000, give or take. Our official language is English. We only speak English, but there is a Bajan dialect. So let's say my friends and I were here and we were having a conversation. You may not understand all that we're saying, but rest assured that it is indeed English that we are speaking. Many of our Caribbean neighbors have a patois. Barbados, from our colonial days, we were just colonized by the British. So we don't have a patois or different languages that others have. So, for example, St. Lucia, they speak English too, but they have patois, a broken French, signifying when they were colonized by the French as well. Incidentally, they were colonized 14 times between the British and the French. So, of course, their language has developed over the years using both English and French, but Barbados strictly English. And from a currency exchange perspective, $1 is $2 Barbados. We have our own dollar, the Barbados dollar. $1 is 2 Barbados, and that's instrumental to note as we continue on in the presentation. Now, if you are going to the bank and you're trying to exchange your US to Barbados, you will get the rate as is on the day. So it could be 1.95, 1.98, etc. But on the street, for the most part, is 2 to 1. So let's say you go someplace to buy a beverage, you give them well, they tell you it's going to be $4 Barbados, then it'll be $2 US. Yeah. So you can, do the math like that. I will caution you though that you must know that if you give a vendor US currency in Barbados as payment for a transaction, you will get Barbados dollar back as your change. You will not get US back, or at least you shouldn't. It's against our law. But so don't be surprised if that happens. But it is possible that some people, depending on their establishment, may have some US lingering around that they may include. So it might happen, but you would get a mixture of US and Barbados, right? But you wouldn't get solely US back. All right. So travel requirements to Barbados, everyone must have a passport and valid return ticket to be allowed entry to Barbados. If you or your clients are coming for a long stay, you can have your ticket available to show the customs and immigration officer that you are planning to be here for a few months. Ordinarily, you get stamped for 3 to 6 months, so you can share with them that you're gonna be here for a bit. Or if you are in for a short time, but then you want to, extend your time, you can always apply for additional time on the island and you'll be good to go. Airlift from the US to Barbados mainly happens from the US's eastern border. So we have lots of great flights to choose from. JFK, we have flights there on JetBlue, and this graphic here actually has to be updated, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But we have airlift from JetBlue, Newark Liberty from United, Dulles, Washington also on United, Charlotte from American Airlines, Miami American Airlines as well, and Boston Logan also has service from JetBlue. So we have quite a number of eastern cities that have flights from the US to Barbados. But I mentioned to you that that graphic has to be updated because we've added more airlift from the US to Barbados. So we have JFK, we have American Airlines flying down to Barbados as well. So you get American Airlines and JetBlue. And then later on this month, Delta comes on as well, servicing JFK to Barbados direct flight. So from JFK, you will have 3 flights, 3 different carriers going down to Barbados. We also have American Airlines coming on in early November. They're now doing flights from Philadelphia to Barbados as well. And then Delta, they also have a flight, flying from Atlanta to Barbados. So in addition to the other cities I mentioned on the slide previous, Dulles, Boston, etc., we have additional flights. So there's ease of getting to Barbados. And if you're in the Boston region, we also have a 3rd flight going from Boston to Barbados on JetBlue. Before, it was 1 flight that was seasonal over the years. Then it became 1 flight year round. Then last year, 2 flights year round. And now there's a 3rd flight. So it's showing that business is growing. And Barbados is a popular destination, not just with one airline, but many others too. So you want to take stock of that we have point-to-point flights or flights that allow for seamless connection if you're not living in one of the cities that we mentioned. And I want to say that these flights also too, for the most part, arrive in Barbados by early afternoon. So you're not spending the entire day traveling. You can still redeem some time when you arrive in Barbados in the early afternoon on your day of travel. All right, so this slide here speaks to the 3rd trip that commenced in October from Boston Logan to Barbados. A little bit about Barbados as a cruising destination. More cruise ships are choosing to begin and end their voyages at the Bridgetown port in Barbados. We are the largest home porting destination in the Southern Caribbean, and major cruise lines service the island. So here's a quick snapshot of cruise lines that calls to Barbados the past winter season of 22 to 23 and 23 to 24. So quite an extensive list from North America to Europe, etc. All right. And for North America, these are some of the home porting lines that home port in Barbados. That means that they begin their cruise in Barbados or finish your cruise in Barbados. So what does that mean for us and for you? That means then that you have the opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, meaning that you can fly into Barbados, spend some time on land, enjoy what the island has to offer, and then cruise out. Or you can finish your cruise in Barbados, put a few days on the back end and enjoy some time on the island and then fly out. And we are doing this through the promotion of our cruise and stay program. For many years, I've heard people say, I've been to Barbados. It was lovely, but it was a cruise and I didn't have much time to really delve into what the island has to offer. Well, now you have the opportunity to do just that. because you can commence your cruise in Barbados, finish your cruise in Barbados, and do a pre or post cruise stay where you can enjoy, the best of land activity and sea activity on your cruise. So please keep that in mind. A little bit as well about destination management companies. These folk do a fantastic job. Our partners do a great job of really curating great experiences in Barbados, but also ensuring that your stay and the logistics of your stay can be very seamless. So from airport meet and greet, going through customs and immigration, right down to transportation to your hotel, right down to the creation of a wonderful itinerary of activity on the ground, they can do it all for you. I personally like the meet and greet service that is available because, like I said before, so many airlines service Barbados that on any given afternoon, you can get American Airlines, you can get JetBlue, you can get from Canada, Air Canada, you can get from the UK, all of their flights from Virgin and BA, all descending within a couple hours, perhaps even half hour between each other in Barbados, and you want to avoid long customs and immigration lines. So, once you have your travel form already completed and you can do a meet and greet service, you're met at the doors of the arrival hall, then you're ushered into the expedited line, you connect with the immigration officer, then you go, you get your bags, and you're well on your way. Outside of that, these companies do a fantastic job, like I said, with specially curated events and activities, celebrations, meetings, groups, incentive travel, the whole 9 yards. And I'll give you a quick story. 2019, I was in Toronto, Canada, stationed there at the time. My grandmother suddenly passed away. I had to rush home. My wife and I rushed back to Barbados. When we got there, we dealt with our family emergency and my grandmother's going home service. But then it hit me, hey, Jason, you're about to celebrate your first wedding anniversary and you have nothing planned. I'm like, boy, oh boy, I can't do this. So I called one of the destination companies on the island and I say, hey, is there something that you can create for me that, my wife and I can enjoy for our first anniversary in light of the experience that we have came home for? They said, sure, no problem, Jason, we've got you covered. So uh, they said, show up to this location on this day at this time. We did just that. And when we arrived, it was a private condo looking over the beach, saxophonist, private chef, service staff, and great, great food, three-course meal. And what made it even more special was that the chefs who prepared the meal for that evening were the same chefs that did our wedding 1 year earlier. So these are the kind of experiences that these DMCs can do. They can really make your stay much more worthwhile and much more hassle-free. So please keep them in mind. All right. Accommodation. No, again, I reference Canada because I had a good time in Canada, and we had a colleague, his name was John Cavill, and John always said that when it comes to accommodation in Barbados, there's something from 100 US a night to 100 US per minute, and all that's in between. And that was his fun, jovial way of saying that there's something for everyone in Barbados. And he was absolutely correct. So we have a wide range of categories of accommodations on the island. We have villas, which offer great private unique experiences and accommodations for villa guests. And please, I know many of us when we hear villas we get cold feet and cold hands because we're thinking lots of dollar signs, etc. And yes, there are those villas that are very luxurious, but we have many villa management companies on the island who do a fantastic job of offering different villas that span different categories. Let's say you're a large family. You may get a better price with a villa who charges for the space as opposed to going to a hotel that will charge per person per night. And then you have to do 2, 3, maybe 4 rooms, right? So please don't knock villas. You can visit our website, visitbarbados.org, click on the section that says places to stay, and you can click on the villa management companies and you will see them listed there. They have fantastic offers available. And if you're a large family, a group of friends, you could perhaps share the cost and it may work out cheaper than a hotel. And of course, you have added services available to as well, security, housekeeping, chef, etc. So please, for those who like villas, this is a great option for you as well. Yeah. Luxury. We also have some great luxury hotels on the island. Sandy Lane being our most exclusive luxury hotel. Of course, we have Fairmont Royal Pavilion, Cobbler's Cove, St. Peter's Bay. They all do a fantastic job of having the privilege of staying or visiting a few of these hotels on business, and they all do a great job. Really, really makes your stay very comfortable and worthwhile. All-inclusives, stop the presses. There are all-inclusives in Barbados. Sometimes people don't think that we have an all-inclusive product. I do admit that it was something that came on over the years as we saw that there is a demand for all-inclusive product within the tourism industry, and we have done our part to diversify. So we have in excess of 18, now 19 all-inclusives on the island, the latest being Wyndham Grand Samros Castle. For those of you who are familiar with the part in Barbados, you would recall Samros Castle, which was one of our flagship and famed hotels back in the day. It closed down for quite some time, but we opened last year as a Wyndham Grand property, and it's also an all-inclusive hotel. We have the two Sandals. We have the Ocean Hotels Barbados Group doing a fantastic job with Seabreeze Beach House and O2 Beach Club and Spa. And then, of course, Marriott All Inclusive. They bought over a group called the Elegant Hotel Group. They made 6 of those 7 hotels all inclusive, and they're now going through renovations to bring them all up to the standard that is Marriott. And these will be available under the Marriott all-inclusive portfolio as Autograph Hotels. The Waves Hotel has reopened this year, and they are functioning as well under the new Marriott branding. So please bear in mind that there are all-inclusives in Barbados. Then we have mid-range hotels too. All right, so lovely mid-range hotels, so something for everyone again. And then we have the intimate hotels as well. Smaller accommodations that are nice, quaint, beautiful, and because it is a small accommodation doesn't mean that you're missing out on the activity. Many of these are located in popular areas like St. Lawrence Gap, Holt Town, etc. So you're not far from the activities that you can engage in. And then, of course, they do a fantastic job. Right here at the bottom is Sweetfield Manor and Historic Inn. They do a great job as well. That was where my wife and I got married. And it's more than just a small hotel, but it has the largest population of peacocks in the Caribbean right there at that property. And it's also good for those who like nature, those who want to really unplug from the hustle and bustle and really, feel a sense of peace and calm whilst on their vacation. So all these hotels offer some tremendous product that you can really enjoy. Now, as they say, we get to the meat of the matter. We've tasted some seasoning and the different starches and so forth, but now we get to the meat of the matter. And if we have any vegans or vegetarians on the call, we also get to the popular part of your dish. All right, I'm not partisan. Okay, now we are all about the experience. We want that you come to Barbados and enjoy the island. And to do this, we are sharing with you some pillars of our product that you can really zone in and hone in on and really enjoy when you come to Barbados. Now, culinary offerings. Barbadians, we love to eat. All right. Nothing is like having a good meal in Barbados. And as such, we want that when you come to Barbados, you too enjoy some of the great food that's available on the island. Similarly to the accommodation, we have different categories of food establishments that you can enjoy. And we have great fine dining experiences. All right, many of them owned by locals. My personal favorite is Champers, fourth from the bottom. They do a fantastic job right there in Barbados. And I want to reiterate again that there is something for everyone to enjoy on the island, and to eat in Barbados is not expensive. We'll get a bit more into that later. So we have the Thais, Champers, Primo, Lone Star. They all do a fantastic job when it comes to fine dining experiences. Then, after you do fine dining, perhaps for lunch, you can do some relaxed dining at one of our popular beach restaurants on the island. Watch the sunset. If you're an early riser and the restaurant opens for breakfast, you can watch the sunrise as well. You really just unplug, relax, and enjoy, some beautiful local Barbadian meals right there on the beaches in Barbados, Roundhouse Barbados, Zebi Cafe, Tiki Barbados, etc. Then, of course, it's the street food. My personal favorite oysters. I'm sure that there must be some person on the call who has been to Barbados and who has been to oysters. Our famed fish fry every single weekend. You cannot go wrong. All right. And then, of course, you have the Oysters Fish Festival every Easter weekend. But outside of Oysters, Martins Bay, the Village Bar at Lemon Arbor, Cuz Fish Cutters right there on Pebbles Beach between the Hilton and Radisson, Barbados, they all do a fantastic job. So there's lots of great food to enjoy in Barbados. No, I promise, please forgive me for having these images here. I haven't eaten lunch and I could eat some of this food picture here right about now. Now, these pictures, I give compliments to my lovely wife, Chiquita, for taking these pictures. She took these pictures a couple of years ago when we were vacationing back in our homeland, Barbados. And my wife loves to take picture of food. For me, I'm just ready to eat. But I had to humble myself and ask her for the picture because I wanted to put it in a presentation. And I did this because not only to show Beijing street food examples, but to also illuminate the point that it is not expensive to eat in Barbados. No, if you go to fine dining, there will be a cost. Yes, but I'm saying again, you have the spending power. $1 is $2 Barbados. That means that if a meal costs $30 Barbados, it's 15 US. So you have the spending power on the island. But outside of that, again, it is not expensive to eat in Barbados. Can I tell you that the range of prices for these meals pictured here range from 12 US to, let's say, 15 US, right? 25, to be fair. Okay, let's do 25, all right? 12 US to 25 US. And that's very generous. That's very generous. And look at the options here. You have some turkey wings with sweet potato pie and rice, coleslaw. You have fish from Just Brittany with rice and coleslaw. You have oysters with breadfruit chips, plantain, 3 salads, chefette barbecue barn with a half chicken, mashed potatoes, coleslaw, fish cakes. You can't go wrong. 12 US to 25 US, and that's being generous. And these can serve you in 2 goes if it's too much food for you. No, I live in New York, and there's no way that I can pay 25 US for some of the meals here offered in New York City. Yeah. So I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen on the call, that there's something for everyone to enjoy. You just have to know the right spots to go to and really soak in and enjoy it. All right. Good. Now that we've ate with our eyes, now it's time to get up and do some adventurous stuff and work off some of that food. So we also have adventure. That's a big part of our tourism offerings. We do a lot of adventure on the island. As I mentioned to you before earlier on the call, we are coral limestone. We are not part of the volcanic arc of islands. We are coral limestone. So we have lots of caves on the island. So pictured here is our most famous cave, Harrison's Cave. They do a fantastic job of a tour where you can really go into the heart of Barbados and see how Barbados looks underground. Lots of beautiful stalactites and stalagmites that really form a lot of Barbadian society. It reminds people of Barbadian society. So there's a part that is called the cathedral because of how the formations look. It's like you're looking at a choir. Then there's a part that's called the altar where you have some formations that represent this Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. There's a mirror lake. And because we're coral limestone, Barbados is, our water is clean for drinking because the limestone acts as a natural filter. So you can really see some beautiful water in the cave as well, Mirror Lake, and so on and so forth. They also done some upgrades to Harrison's Cave on the outside to make it truly an adventure paradise. So you have zip lines, suspended walkways, a dry slide, a bird aviary. So it really can be a daytime adventure for those who visit the island, all right, and visit Harrison's Cave. You can do one of two tours. You can do it on your tram, pictured here in the middle picture. You have your tour guide, you have your driver, and you get a nice tour of the cave. Or if you're more hardcore, you can tour the cave like the first explorers did. Put on your hard hat, your flashlight, elbow and knee pads, and you get to crawl through the cave just like they did. No, I'm not the most adventurous, so I'll stick to the tram. All right. But for those of you who love that kind of thing, there's something for you as well. All right. There's also island safari. They do great tours on the island where they take you off the beaten path and you see Barbados from different angles. Animal Flora Cave, off-road fuel. There is a great adventure product on island for those who love it. We speak about adventure on the land, but there's also adventure on the sea. Atlantis submarines, catamaran cruises, where you can snorkel over shipwrecks, snorkel with turtles, water sporting activities, the jet skis, the surfing, all that fun stuff. Then there's Roscoe's Barbados Water Park, what I call the Beijing version of American Ninja Warrior, but on the water. You can go out there, put on your life vest and so forth, and really get into great competition on the water park. That is Roscoe's Barbados Water Park right there at Barbados Beach. Then, of course, you have the Folkestone Underwater Park and Marine Museum. Lots of great things to see there as well. For those who love nature from this angle, the flora, the fauna, there's something for you as well. Lots of great lush gardens to really enjoy in Barbados. So even though we are not mountainous and we are flat, we are hilly, we are full of caves, we have great beauty on the island. And incidentally, that's where Barbados' name comes from, nature. When the Portuguese came to Barbados in 1625, they saw a lot of trees that reminded them of a man with beard, and they called it the bearded fig tree, and they called it Los Barbados, which means the bearded one. Then when the English returned, did a translation, and hence you get Barbados. So lots of great gardens to really visit, learn more about the different species of plants on the island. But of course, you can really relax and really enjoy nature and calm one's mind. For those who enjoy rum, we can't speak about food and not rum. Barbados, the oldest producing nation in the world, the birthplace of rum, four active rum distilleries, all doing a fantastic job, all with different tours that you can, visit the different distilleries and learn more about how they produce rum. You get Mount Gay's, Nicholas Abbey, Foursquare, West Indies Rum Distillery. They do a fantastic job. And then, of course, over 1,500 rum shops on the island. So these rum shops are like the convenience stores for us. Everyone growing up in Barbados had a rum shop close to them. I certainly had one. They sell rum, yes, but no rum for me as a child. But I'll go to the shop to get some biscuit, get some snacks, some drink. And then on weekends, the shopkeeper would do chicken and chips. And that was my favorite on weekends too. So, these rum shops are really a part of Barbadian life. And we encourage you to visit them when you come to Barbados as well. So we're speaking about the authentic experience that is Barbados. And I want to underscore the point that travel at its core is about going someplace that you've not been to before and learning about that place. Or if you've been there before, you continue to learn more about that place. All right. That is what travel is all about. So as we continue looking at the different pillars of our product, I want you to remember that and look at it from those lenses. All right. So we've spoken about culinary, we've spoken about adventure, now history and heritage. Bridgetown, our main city, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, officially known as UNESCO Historic Bridgetown and its garrison. And there's lots of great historic relics to really unpack there. We have the George Washington House, all right? And why is it named that? Well, when George was a teenager going into young adulthood, his brother took ill with tuberculosis, and it was recommended to them that they travel to a warm weather destination for recuperation. And guess what? They came to Barbados. So this is the location where they stayed, and today it is a museum named after George Washington. Then you also have the Garrison Tunnels at the Garrison Savannah. Here's where the British, when they were colonizers in Barbados, would have set up their military and their army and whatnot, and they would have dug underground tunnels so that they can escape in the event that the island was besieged and a war broke out. And they built these tunnels that ran from the military barracks right down to the beach where they could escape. But, thankfully, we didn't have a major war like that. But today, it is a great tour to discover under Barbados. Then we have Golden Square Freedom Park. Pictured right here is the Honorable, the Right Excellent Rihanna Robin Fenty. And she has all of those names because she is the 11th national hero of Barbados, all right? And she's pictured here at Golden Square Freedom Park. This park was built with the focus on really shedding the light and paying respect to the many Barbadians and Africans who came to the island and really built Barbados, set the foundation for what Barbados is today. Barbados, because we are the easternmost island in the region, we were really one of the first stops on the Atlantic slave trade and the Middle Passage. And we have a lot of great records and archives of censuses and persons who passed through Barbados as well on the island. So the Barbados National Archives Department is a great thing to really explore as well. But many of these persons who are featured on the walls, they built Barbados, and it was a concerted effort to have Barbadians to recognize these people and then have us to visit the wall and see our last names there to really reflect on those who are our ancestors who went before us and really paved the way for what Barbados is today, especially in very, very trying and unfortunate times, right? So that's something that you can discover and look in Barbados, because there's no me without those persons listed on that wall. I can't sit here today and share with you my beautiful island without the efforts of those persons on the wall. So I invite you to visit that place when you go to Barbados as well, and reflect on what we call and who we call the builders of the nation. We have the Parliament building, third oldest in the Western Hemisphere, over 300 years old. And they have a parliamentary museum as well. The architecture, the museum, the grounds, it makes for a great, great stop. We have a Jewish synagogue also in Barbados, right there by Swan Street. Barbados was home to many of the Jewish community when they were exiled from different nations, and they really, really came to Barbados and, built their synagogue and also built, some commercialism in Barbados, having built Swan Street, which is one of the popular shopping streets in Barbados as well. So, great museum to see there too. The synagogue was destroyed by fire and I believe a hurricane too, but also rebuilt. So it's been there since the 1800s. Lots of great history to unpack there as well. The Barbados Museum, we've spoken about the Jews, we've spoken about colonial times, but we can't forget there were persons in Barbados before that, the Amerindians. So you can really come here and see the first Barbadians artifacts, about them and who they were and what they were doing when they were in Barbados, going way back then. And I can tell you that from a historic perspective, you can do tours that actually bridge different niches, history and food. So there are walking food tours that you can do in Bridgetown that visit some of these sites, among others. And then it also makes visits to different local restaurants that we grew up on as Barbadians, eating some local delicacies. So you can do a lovely walking tour through Bridgetown, and we invite you to really explore the island. And that's just Bridgetown. There's so much different history on the island. Spikestone in the north, I mentioned to you before, that used to be called Little Bristol because of the exportation that used to happen from Barbados to Bristol, England, and it got the moniker Little Bristol. We have Howe Town on the west coast, and that's one of the towns in Barbados, and that's the area of first settlement on the island. We spoke about Bridgetown and how it is today our capital city, and then Oistins, known for decades, centuries even, as a fishing village, a town that has fed many Barbadians and continues to feed Barbadians and visitors to our shore. So the history is not just centered in Bridgetown, but across all of our towns, across the entire island, lots of great history to unpack. Remember, travel and tourism at its core is about going someplace you've not learned about before or visited before. And here's a place where you can really, really learn about Barbados and delve into who we are as an island. Continuing now with romance, great place for getting married in Barbados. There's no wait time to get married in Barbados once you have your documents all together. Let's say you fly into Barbados, you can leave the airport, go straight to the Ministry of Home Affairs. You have your passport, your birth certificate, you have your documents. If you were divorced and you're remarrying, you have your certificate of divorce. You get all that checked out, bada bing, bada boom. You get your marriage license. You can go straight to your hotel, get married on the beach, and in your first night, which can be a travel day, you can be saying "I do" right there on the beach. Yeah. So there's something for everyone again. From a wedding perspective, you can easily get married in Barbados. You can do the same thing from cruises as well. And then if you're planning a bigger wedding in Barbados, you can get married different places, churches, on the beach, even on one of our minibuses. That happened actually, so you can get married different places as well. A lot of the historic sites as well, plantation, great houses, intimate hotels, you name it, you can get married there. All right. But of course, it also lends itself for a great honeymoon destination. I mean, with all the activity that we've spoken about, the experiences, the culinary, the history, the rum, the adventure, what better place to really commence a honeymoon than in Barbados? If you want to relax and really enjoy any of the accommodations that we mentioned, from the villas to the luxury hotels, the all-inclusives, you can do that and just stay on the beach and at your hotel the entire time if you wish. But to make it a memorable experience, you can, really build out an itinerary, perhaps to one of our DMCs, to really start your marriage off with some wonderful experiences, memorable experiences in Barbados as well. So there's something for everyone to enjoy. All right. Events and festivals, we can't forget that there's something always happening in Barbados. August, or rather summer, is the biggest festival for us on the island. That's called Crop Over. So it's a 3-month long festival, lots of food, dancing, costumes, parties, music, history as well. There's something for everyone to enjoy. It officially begins in July, going into the first Monday in August, but unofficially recommences in June. So lots of great activities to enjoy to really soak in authentic Barbados. All right. Outside of Crop Over, there's something happening for the entire year. So we have our Food and Rum Festival. Like I said, we Barbadians love to eat. So lots of great festivals happening surrounding food, food and rum. 3 4 day festival every year where the local chefs come together and do a fantastic job celebrating Barbadian cuisine, also including international chefs who are also celebrating Barbadian cuisine. And we can't forget the mixologists who do wonderful creations utilizing Barbados rum and Barbadian grown food. There are also sports festivals. Just last weekend, we held um, the Run Barbados Marathon. Happens every first weekend in December. And it's more than just a race weekend. You got the 5K, 10K, fun walk, fun run, half marathon, full marathon, you name it. But it's also a place of serious business because this is one of the last marathons happening in the world where you can actually run a qualifying time for the Boston Marathon, for example. And we all know how big the Boston Marathon is. So it's a fun race weekend, but also a serious race weekend for those who are the enthusiasts. So there's something again for everyone to enjoy. All right. So to give you a cross section of different things happening in Barbados, we have here a visual of what would have been the calendar of events for this year on the island. So we have annual events like the Sandy Lane Gold Cup happens every first Saturday in March. Barbados' most premier horse race. You get the Whole Town Festival, Reggae Festival, things that happen every single year. You can see it runs the entire length of the year from January to December. And then there are other events that Barbados we are chosen for from a global perspective that is happening in that year too. So we encourage you to really, really seek out what's happening on the island. When you come, ask your hotel, ask the accommodations where you're booking, whether it's a small accommodation or a big hotel, ask them what's happening for the time that I'm here. And they will tell you, and you can be a part of these activities too. Again, we want you to have an authentic experience in Barbados. Speaking about events, next year, our Prime Minister has labeled it Regatherings. So this is really a call for Barbadians who have made home abroad to come back to Barbados and really have a large country family reunion. That's what it really is. But this also presents a fantastic time for you, our travel agent partners, and your clients to visit Barbados as well. For all the authentic travel that I've been speaking about and the authentic experience that I've been promoting, there's no bigger or better time to visit Barbados than next year because for the entire year, we're going to have each parish in Barbados, each month we'll be doing something. So January is St. Lucie, February is St. Peter, coming down the line. And every parish has a different way of life. It has a different culture, enjoy different foods, different things. So you can really soak in the identity of each parish. And then in December, it all culminates nationwide with a grand family union kind of type activity. So it's going to be a wonderful time to travel to Barbados beyond what we normally do as a tourism destination. This really gives you a great time to really dive into who we are as a country and make Barbados part of your family as we make you part of ours. All right. As I bring the presentation to a close, I want to remind you to please sign up for the Barbados Elite Club program. If you haven't done so already, please sign up www.barbadoseliteclub.com. If you have signed up before, please ensure that your account is active. We have made some changes to our platform and all of the addresses that were not active were removed. So if you didn't see those notifications, emails were sent out, please ensure you sign up again and get your account active. It is a 10-chapter program where you can learn more about Barbados in greater detail. And then there are also some wonderful rewards that they have revamped where you can redeem your rewards via the platform as opposed to waiting on us to send you the rewards. So you can log your bookings, earn rewards, go from bronze, silver to gold tier, and reap rewards over the course of doing business with Barbados. Added to that, persons will be selected for farm trips in the future from our Elite Club program. So if you're interested in seeing Barbados and really, really learning more about us so that you can sell Barbados, this will be something for you to do as well. All right. So on behalf of the Barbados Tourism Office, I want to thank you for your time today. My name is Jason Yearwood, Business Development Officer for New England. So all of my New Englanders on the call, big up yourself. Shout out to you, as we say in Barbados. But shout out to everyone for coming on the call today. Visit Spoiled Agent's website. You'll see the entire team there, the areas that we cover. And if you're not covering your area, because we are a small team, can reach out to any one of us because we have an um, all hands on that approach when it comes to promoting our beautiful island. So thank you so much. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas, a blessed New Year. Look forward to seeing you in Barbados come next year.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so inspired. And all the agents are saying, Zamira said, she took notes and let's sell Barbados. I love that. And Constance says, Merry Christmas. So many comments, too many to read. I would love to be able to read them all, but that is just too hard and too much. So I want to say to Santa, don't forget me. I said it okay. Santa
You
Claus,
did.
remember all of
You did.
us. We've been super well behaved because that's coming. And before you tune out, if you have to leave, please don't forget that we've got the 12 days of Christmas. Mark your calendars. 12 days after it's called. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas, that's perfectly amazing. Please come and be spoiled with us. It's going to start as of the 26th of December, and every day is full of surprises and spoiling. And of course, Barbados are professional spoilers, so they're there as well. So make sure to watch for your emails and tune in every single day. Visit our site as of the 26th of December, and you're going to find lots of surprises in store, usually for 12 or sometimes even 14 or 16 days. So get ready, get excited. And Jason, this presentation was phenomenal. We are going to do the Q&A. If you have to run because you're going to tell your clients all about Barbados, we forgive you. But let's ask some of the questions that we have here for those of you who'd like to stay on. Again, the winner of that $200 prize gift card will be announced next week by Wednesday. So we'll start with Tina asks, should we say Bajan or Barbadian?
You can say Barbadian, but it's quite interchangeable. So you can say Barbadian, you can say Bajan. You don't get an answer to any of them, but most people say Bajan.
Okay. Celine says, hello, dear Jason.
Hey.
And is there any paperwork that needs to be completed before traveling to Barbados?
Yeah, so you can do your online immigration form. That's travelform.gov.bb, and you can do that up to 24 hours before you travel. I believe 72 hours before you travel. Once you get that done, get that all sorted. Once you arrive, you can go straight through the immigration. If you don't do it before you arrive, you will have to stop at the kiosk, the self-serving kiosk in the arrival hall to complete it. But it always works best to do it beforehand, so you have that all sorted.
Okay. So we can follow up. Okay, I've got another, just a friendly reminder in the chat. I love this. They're saying, please get my BDM to get in touch with me. But if you write that in the chat, we won't see it. The chat won't, unfortunately, it's sort of humanly impossible. I know there's going to be an AI thing that can summarize it for us. There probably already is one. But if you have a request that you need a follow-up on, please put it in the Q&A or throw an email to your BDM or anyone on the team, as Jason mentioned. Excuse me. So here goes the link again to Spoiled Agent. And you've got, I think there's 3, 4, 5 of you that you can reach out to anyone. So just send an email. If you leave it in the chat, I don't want you to think that the Barbados team is not responsive because they're some of the best in the industry. So please shoot an email their way or put it in the Q&A and then I can send that to Jason for you. So next one, I've got my first Barbados booking last week. Yay!
Congratulations.
Yes, I tried to register. It's for May 2025. I'm having some issues with that. Is there someone I can reach out to? Because it's not working, I guess.
All right, you can send your concern to me, and I'll send it off to our partners who deal with the Barbados City Club program, and they'll be able to assist.
Okay, so again, there's the link, just so it's fresh for you. And I know someone's asking if I saw your question. I probably did. Right now, we're at about 21 questions, and I'm going from the top down. Sometimes, sometimes we don't get to them all, but we usually do. I think today it'll be perfect. Question, are Canadian dollars also accepted in Barbados?
I would say yes, but it depends where you are. But I would suggest that you change it because the Canadian currency, it may be a bit more tricky in terms of how Barbadians understand the conversion. So I will suggest that if you travel with Canadian dollars, you can get it changed at the bank. That's quite easy. Get it changed to Barbados currency to avoid any confusion. Because last I checked, it was, and this is when I was living in Canada, it was like 1.53 to 1.53 Canadian to 1 Barbados. So it may be a little bit more tricky than 2 to 1. So I'd recommend just getting it changed at the bank before you head out. Or if not at the bank, you can get it changed at your hotel as well.
Okay, now I think I'm too jealous to read this next question. Candy. Candy says, greetings. I'll be there New Year's Eve. Do you know of any parties? We're staying at Rihanna's childhood home, but I'd like to visit some resorts. How can I purchase some day passes? Candy, no fair. How about we go and I'll take you to the hotels. I don't even know them, but I'll figure it out.
Hi, Candy. Actually, Kelly sent me your email to follow up with you, so I'll do just that.
Oh,
New Year's
great.
New Year's parties, there are quite a lot going on. So you could visit our website to see who's listed. Many of the hotels have their own respective parties, so you could look up that as well. Day passes, I'll give you some suggestions that you can ask a question. It can be a bit challenging because it's peak time now.
That's right. And then their occupancy
So
is full and they sometimes say
exactly,
no. I
so
actually
it could be a
had
bit challenging.
elite island resorts recently. And
Yeah.
we were showcasing their beautiful property in Barbados. And they said they don't really ever do day passes because they're smaller and they're at full occupancy
Correct.
oftentimes,
Day
especially in the
passes
winter.
normally hit home like during the summer months, etc.
Yeah,
And when it's quieter, like after cupover. So I'm not sure if they'll be available, but I can give you some options that you can ask. But outside of that, I mean, there's still lots to do in Barbados, so you wouldn't be bored at
that's
all.
right.
And staying by Rihanna's childhood home, yeah, you definitely will have a grand time.
I know. I think you're going to be in great hands. Good for you. And happy New Year's. I hope that's a great celebration for you. Next question. Is the port walking distance to downtown? If not, how far and how do we get there?
Yeah, the port is actually in Bridgetown. So once you dock, you're right there in Bridgetown. Once you exit the gates of the port, you're right in Bridgetown. So for sure, walking distance. You can walk straight through the city. Many persons do just that. You know, you walk past Pelican Village, you go down by St. Mary's Church, right into Broad Street, Upper and Lower Broad Street, because Circle Swan Street, city apartment buildings, and then make a left, make a right, and then you can walk back down, retrace your steps back onto the port. So you're right in Bridgetown, so it's not far to go at all.
Okay, and speaking of locations, how far is Bridgetown from the international airport?
From the airport, I'll generously say 30 minutes, but that's being extremely generous. That's factoring in like traffic and whatnot. It can be much faster than that, 20 minutes maybe. But just factoring in traffic, factoring in the road you go. Because if you go what we call the coastline route, which is driving the highway that's right by the beach, it could take you longer because lots of business establishments, the buses, etc., frequent that route. But if you go the highway and let's say you're doing it outside of rush hour, you can get to Bridgetown in about 20 minutes. So it varies, but 30 minutes, just to be like the airlines and, tell you that, we're going to take an hour and 30 minutes, but get you there in 50 minutes. So,
Makes sense. Okay. Is Club Barbados in the list or one of the all-inclusive properties?
yes,
Okay,
Club Barbados
great.
it is, and they're on the West Coast, Port Town, just outside of San Helena.
Okay. And because of the location of the island, is it particularly susceptible to hurricanes?
So actually, we sit outside of the hurricane belt, so we haven't been affected by hurricanes that much. Of course, we can't predict nature, and hurricanes, do what they want. But this year, for example, that major hurricane that passed, that Hurricane Beryl that affected our neighbors in the Grenadines and St. Vincent, that hurricane passed to the south of Barbados. So, we've been blessed and fortunate enough to be safeguarded from hurricanes. We have had a few that would have passed over us as category 1 or as a storm, but we continue to pray the good Lord's blessings that He watch over us, and so far, so good.
Yes, that's fantastic. Your location is like unbeatable. Okay. Is there a preferred or slash trusted list of vendors for activities, tours, excursions for the island?
Yeah, you can visit our website, visit barbados.org. That website to me is like a virtual brochure from the accommodations right down to the activities, places to eat. There's something there as well. So you could visit the section that says things to do. and it breaks down everything for you in different subheadings. So I wouldn't say that it is a preferred list, but it's a list of persons that have registered with us. We encourage all vendors to register with us, the Barbados Tourism Office in Barbados. So, that way we could assure you that persons registered there are our partners. It's also the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association that all of the tourism businesses register with, from accommodations to activities, etc. So you can also visit their platform as well to learn more. But our website, visitbarbados.org, is a place for you.
And I love this next question because you have the sound effects for it. Because I love when I get asked this about international destinations, because it's always a curious thing. How is the crime rate? Well, it's listen to what's going on right beside Jason. I mean,
Yeah,
he'll answer you.
yeah, some sirens in the background. So we're known for our safety. Of course, things happen everywhere. So I wouldn't sit here and say that things don't happen in Barbados either, but we're known for our safety. We've been rated as one of the safer Caribbean islands over the years. So, and that really lends itself to a lot of what I shared today, being able to experience so much on the island. You can go about and do it on your own without hassle. And many persons who visit Barbados always say that the people really add to the experience. So, we take good care of you as well. From your accommodation to the people that you may meet on the island, we take good care of you. But we encourage persons, of course, safeguard yourself. Don't just think you're in a Caribbean island and can just let your hair down, and let your guard down. But we are one of the safer Caribbean islands.
It's a reputation that you're known for. It's true. Are
Yeah.
there any bicycle races or tours like the marathon?
No bicycle races, but there are bicycle tours that you can visit. You can see Barbados from a bike. So again, the things to do section on our website, you can type in that and look at the options there.
Okay. And then speaking of events, is that something we can look at and download in the calendar of events?
Um, Not the calendar that I showed on the
Okay.
presentation. That's one that we curate. So I mean, I could share a copy of that, well, a copy of the one for 2025 when it comes out with you. But for the most part, the events are listed on our website again. So like I said, our website is really, really good. So you can see different events and stuff happening on the website as well too. They always hyperlink them there that you can have a look. So that would
Oh,
be
I
the
can see
go-to
that.
that I would suggest.
Okay, I'm throwing the link in here, everyone. I can see the beautiful events calendar and destination events calendar on the Barbados Elite Club. Is that the right one, Jason?
Yeah, Barbados Elite Club. Yeah, that's the one. I think that one would be for this year, but you can also throw in Sabrina visit barbados.org. And
Okay, great. I've got that open
yeah,
too.
normally there's also a listing there that has some updates on upcoming events on the island.
Okay, so visit Barbados. I love this video that you have playing in the background. Okay, that's sand, everything.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you know the dates of the 2025 run for the marathon in Barbados?
I don't know the dates as yet, but normally it's always the first weekend in December. So I would hazard a guess that it will be that weekend. And that is like without fail. It is always the first weekend in December, but you can stay tuned for the confirmed dates by early next year.
Okay. And in regards to Facebook, do you have a Facebook group that's happening currently for the Elite Club or agents at all?
Yes, there is a Facebook group. I believe it's BTMI USA or Barbados Tourism Marketing USA. I can check with my colleague Elijah because I know she was championing that, and I can share that as well. And we also have a newsletter that Elijah does. So we encourage you again to sign up to our Elite Club platform so you can stay up to date with our newsletter, events that we are doing in the city or perhaps across the USA, somewhere near you, that you can come and commune with us, learn more from us. And many times when we do events, we invite some talent from Barbados to come up as well. So we try our best to bring um a sample of Barbados with us. So yeah.
That'd be great if you want to share that with me, then I can put that also on your page and agents can register.
Yeah.
And yeah, Joy, we can share that with you perhaps in the follow-up email. That would be great. So that you have that because I know you're looking for that one. So maybe the newsletter. would be a good one. Okay, will there be a summer credit for 2025, the $400 digital credit that was offered this year? Do you know of that yet?
I'm not sure, but I'll listen up to our headquarters. Normally, those announcements come from our headquarters and the marketing team down there. But as soon as we get word, we'll for sure share it.
Okay, wonderful. And everyone in the chat says, great info. Thank you so much. Thanks for an excellent webinar. And they're going to look forward to that newsletter link. So it was fantastic. We've reached the end, right on the hour mark, even with Q&A. Thank you, Jason, for a job
Pleasure.
amazing as always. Well done. And we just want to remind everyone not to forget that we've got the 12 days of Christmas and 12 days after, sorry, that you're going to hear, see all about partners, including Barbados, and sign up and stay tuned because I know there'll be lots of fun things coming from Barbados in the new year, as they are an amazing partner of ours. So we're very excited for those things to come.
Yeah,
So thank you, Jason.
Sabrina, you should have said, "Don't forget ma," because
I want to.
you're
I'm so scared
reminding.
I'm going to butcher it. Here we go. Don't forget ma. There we
Right,
go.
right. Because you're reminding the agents about the 12 days of Christmas. So, yeah, that's the way to do it. But, again, thank you so much for not just today, but for welcoming us into your network for the entire year. We continue to be appreciative of all that support agent does. You, Kelly, Susan, Sophia, and of course, all the agents who have taken the time out of their schedule to, listen to us, whether live or by recording. Thank you so much. We look forward to welcoming you
Thanks.
to Barbados.
Wonderful. I hope the next time we see each other is in Barbados. What a dream. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye. Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.